I, John Edmond, was born in a place called Luanshya in northern Rhodesia, now Zambia, near the Congo border. That was in 1936. I did my primary education in Luanshya and later in Edinburgh, Scotland. And in Pretoria, South Africa, I did my tertiary education. Later, also at Moore Hall Computer Academy in England. After my service in the Rhodesian Army for 6 years, I emigrated to South Africa as a computer programmer systems analyst. But music was my first love, and after many years composing and performing, I turned professional, leaving the corporate world. During my time as a musician, I played in several groups like the New Trends, and this took me all around Southern Africa, and at Swaziland's independence, played at the Royal Command performance in front of the royal family. I then went solo and performed on many TV shows in Southern Africa. Altogether, I had 7 hit songs in a row on the Southern African hit parades. My music has taken me several times to the United States, Europe, Australia, and around Southern Africa. I now live in the South African Game Reserve and continue writing on many subjects, and I'm still performing.
This is a review written by Lucinda Clark for Reader's Favourite of Bushcat, Minstrel of the Wild by John Edmond. Lucinda wrote in a review, I chose to review this book as I was very curious to learn more about the recent history of Rhodesia, later to become Zambia and Zimbabwe. I was not disappointed, as in Bushcat, Minstrel of the Wild, the author John Edmond takes us through all the major events, highlighting the early rulers, Mzilikazi and Shaka Zulu, right up to the last century. In this memoir, he takes us from his childhood through the Bush War and UDI to the stepping down of Ian Smith and beyond. Moving to Johannesburg, the author, already a renowned musician, breaks into the industry in Johannesburg, South Africa, and internationally, and eventually running the Gallo Music Company. What makes this book particularly interesting is the inclusion of the lyrics of the words to the huge number of songs he wrote, which reflect the history and events of those times. His work took him all over the world, but the bush always called him back, often to dangerous areas of Rhodesia, when he frequently was called upon to entertain the troops. I thoroughly enjoyed reading Bushcat, Minstrel of the Wild by John Edmond. The book is well written, informative, and full of amusing, sad, and thoughtful recollections of the second half of the 20th century in Southern Africa. The reader gets a broad picture of the people and events, not only from the descriptions of the concerts John gave and the fascinating people he met and performed with, but especially from the words to the songs he includes in each chapter. In themselves, the lyrics tell the story of life in Africa and the last days of white rule before the descent into the modern-day chaos which followed. This book gets a well-deserved 5 stars.
As a follow-up to his first autobiography, Bushcat, Minstrel of the Wild, the author has in this book, Bushcat 2, Cato 9 Tales, continued weaving a potpourri of tales into the tapestry of subjects that shaped his life. Among the many subjects are his ancestry, early life, African politics, history and colonialization, adventures in aviation and the military, life on the land and experiences with wildlife and the environment. As well as his times as an international traveling musician, he explains what spurred him into writing the montage of songs around these varied subjects. Although some of these happenings are tragic, laced in the cocktail of authorship are humorous anecdotes about incidents and characters he's met along the way. This book is sure to invoke a variety of emotions, together with documenting some interesting information. To best describe the author's work would be to quote a line from David Gates' song, Guitar Man. He can make you laugh, he can make you cry. He can bring you down, he can get you high. John Edmond has once again created a most readable and informative book. Letitia Allegria.